first thing I wanted to make mention of was, some of you know I have an interest in the Middle East and in Arabic, and you know, in certain Middle Eastern cultures and probably in other cultures, it's actually forbidden for the younger brother to get married before the older brother. And so, despite this, you know, subtle display of disrespect, speaking today. So Spencer and I, we were always, as my dad mentioned, close in age, so we were always very close growing up. And a lot of brothers tend to fight a lot and kind of wrestle or get angry. And Spencer and I never really had that. I think maybe when we were very young, we may have, but we were actually always just better friends, I think, from the beginning. And part of the reason may have been, I was thinking about why, and I was thinking, you know, in politics, or when people talk about war and peace, they say there has to be a balance of powers. And so I think Spencer and I probably teamed up in order to balance the force known as Becca. So Spencer and I were always actually close, and we moved to Maryland when I was in my sophomore year of high school. Spencer was just going to be starting his freshman year of high school, and my junior, his sophomore year, and so we moved out there, and we had obviously no friends, and so I think that definitely forced us to be friends right away and helped us develop a close friendship. I wanted to mention a couple maybe, before I get a little more serious here, a couple more embarrassing or funny stories about Spencer. One was, and I think going back to the Becca thing, he joined my side very early on when Becca was just a newborn, and Spencer was, how old was he, Mom? Spencer was? Spencer was like just almost 2 years old, and he went outside, turned on the hose, brought it in the house, and put the hose over Becca and held it there. I was crowding her until my mom came to the rescue. And his ways of mischief never changed, as Sam Wright may know. We were at, we lived together with a bunch of us in a house, and we'd have barbecues, but quite often, and after one barbecue, we had all these hot dog buns that were left over, and everyone's just cleaning up and, you know, kind of getting ready for the night. But Spencer, you know, it's not just fun to clean up, so he has to take hot dog buns and stick them in Sam's shoes and his clothes and his car's clothes, and his car windshield. And as many of you heard in the ceiling room today, Spencer doesn't often pass up the time to make a joke or to have a good time. And that's something that he's always been a huge part of our family. Speaking for the siblings, that's something we've always loved about Spencer, is that when he's there, everybody's always laughing, having a good time. This last Thanksgiving he spent with Brittany and their family, and I definitely noticed in our home, while we all had a good time, there was a little less laughter, and we've always been really grateful for Spencer for bringing that into our home. All right, I throw down a couple of things, so I'll make sure I get this all. I wanted to quickly mention, talk to Brittany, just address how wonderful she is and how perfect she is for Spencer. One of the things that I grew up with was sleeping with Spencer, and if any of you have ever slept near him or around him, yeah, or bunked bed with him, the guy snores like a chick. He cannot sleep to save your life. When I was a little kid, I remember going to bed. I hit my bed and I'd think, please fall asleep. No! I thought, you know, I thought Brittany to do, but Brittany is just, as great as Snore Spencer is, she's a good sleeper. She is just always, no problem. She'll just conk out and it doesn't bug her at all, so I figured that was meant to be. The other thing that I noticed about Brittany that I thought was wonderful was recently Spencer and a lot of his friends will know this. He's been on this, and I've joined in it too as well, this kick of being ultra sarcastic and saying the same thing over and over again, but using different words. Most people find this quite annoying. My sisters, my mother. However, I remember when Brittany, I was wondering, I actually thought before I met her, I was like, I wonder how she does with like the ultra sarcastic thing, like if she's like really annoyed by it or whatever. And the first time I met her, Spencer said something, and then she just repeated it again in a different way, and he did, and she did, and he did, and she just fit right in. Last of all, I just wanted to mention to Brittany some of the characteristics I think that Spencer has that I've noticed being his brother. Growing up, Spencer's always been the most supportive person and loyal friend anyone could ever ask for. I know it's cliche to say, but he really has been my best friend, and he's always been there for me. Whenever he speaks about people, he always speaks the best about them and their best characteristics. When I'm around him, or when he speaks to me, I always feel really special. You just know that he's always there for you. I'm just gonna start one last little funny story. Kind of relate his loyalty. When I was living in the Camaloca house, I was supposed to go out with this girl one time, and her friend knew me, and I'd been out with one of her other friends, and so she said something to one of her friends, and anyway, there was like some drama. So anyways, this girl ends up, we're supposed to go out that night, she stands me up. And so, I just brushed it off, and a couple weeks later, Spencer also knew this girl. This girl had actually asked Spencer out. And, I'm not sure, why. I think maybe it's because his muscles are bigger. It's neither here nor there. So she asked Spencer out, and so we were talking that night, and he had no idea that we were even supposed to go out, or I didn't know he was going out there, and so I'm like, oh, so what's going on tonight? He's like, oh yeah, I'm going out with this girl. And I was like, oh, that's cool, And I don't know, I said like, did you ever go out with her? And I said, oh yeah, like we were supposed to go out one time, and she didn't end up showing up. Like, she didn't show. I was like, yeah, I don't know, because she's friends with that one person, I think that whatever. He's like, oh, I'm not going out there. I'm like, no, dude, go out with her, like, it's not a big deal. He's like, no way. And he did it. He let him go out with her and refused. And I remember just thinking, like, that's my boy. That's my girl. Spencer was always there for me. I love him so much, and I know that you guys are going to be so happy together, and going to be a great husband. And look forward to the years ahead having fun.